So Savitri was given an offer to come back to heaven and live in heaven. Glass ocean deep into thyself, thy way. Deep into thyself, thy way. Now, this thyself stands for the ocean. The Supreme Himself is the ocean. The Supreme Himself is the ocean. And that ocean is apotheosized here, the Supreme here. And the ocean should clasp His wave into Himself. Savitri is His way of that ocean. So she is in fact a part of the Supreme Himself. But now He is asking, okay, you have come here as a way, now get back into my ocean. Remain calm, steady. Happy forever in the embosoming surge, and you will be always happy here then, you see. Well, this is of course a very dangerous advice. It means that the way will no more be there at all. Savitri is going to get dissolved into the Supreme. It will be her laya. Her laya. The purpose of her incarnation, etc., all that for which she had come here, that won't be now fulfilled at all. You are given offer. Okay, you have done all that thing. Get back now and stay here. Grow one with the still passion of the depths. So that ocean is the stillness, the calm, the tranquility, the inactivity, so to say, also, luminous passivity. Go and stay back here. Now here, still passion. Well, this is a bit of a strange phrase. Can the passion be really still, calm, tranquil? Normally not, you see. Passions are not that way, you see. It's a bit of an oxymoron, actually. Still passion, you see. Then shalt thou know the lover. So, see, what he is saying is that you will know the lover and the loved are one only when you come back and stay into your Supreme Self. In fact, then there is no difference at all. You have dissolved yourself into Him. See, there is no question of knowing then. At that point, you see, leaving the limits dividing Him and the lover, the beloved. Then shalt thou know the lover and the beloved, leaving the limits divide. I don't know, how will she know then when she has kind of merged herself into the ocean? How will she know that she is separate, that there is a lover, there is a beloved and all that kind of a thing, you see, when she has dissolved, so to say. Grow one with the still passion of the devil. Then shalt thou know the lover and the beloved, leaving the limits, dividing him and the receive him into boundless Savitri. You have become now boundless, infinite. Receive your lover into him. Lose thyself into infinite Satyavan. The lover and the beloved joined together, they have become one. O miracle, where thou beganst, there cease. Indeed, it is a miracle that Savitri, the immortal, has taken the immortal birth. That itself is a miracle. How it has happened? That the immortal has taken the immortal birth. Where thou beganst, there cease. Come back and stay here, forget about everything else. This world is an impossible world. Why you want to struggle with this? Forget about it, come back and stay here. You have done such a great thing, you have crossed all the doors of ignorance, etc., death. You have come here, now stay here. Enjoy the bliss forever here. This is of course a snare, this is of course a temptation. The only puzzle which is how is it that the Supreme Himself is saying something like that? Is something like that, you see. After all, when Savitri, oh miracle, by whatever process it might be, she has taken a purposeful mortal birth. It cannot be without his knowledge, without his intention, without his will, without his sanction. And now he's saying, forget about all that and come. All that. Now, it is a kind of a counterpoint also to emphasize the necessity of what she must do in her mortal birth. In other words, the occult load here is she has to assert, he is not going to tell, do this, do this, do this, do this. She has to assert, I want to do this, I want to do this, I want to do this. And therefore, she is given this particular occasion by saying so, come and stay back here, you see. Now, Savitri, if she says, the whole game is gone then, you see. The purpose of her birth, of her mortal life, etc., is lost totally. If she says yes to this one, she would have forgotten everything. It means that there is absolutely no solution for this mortal world. There cannot be any solution at all if she goes back at all like that, you see. Now, if that has not to happen, then Savitri has to assert something. The Supreme is not going to do that thing for you. Something from here has to open out to the Supreme. From here, it has to open out to the Supreme. And then says, okay, I grant you then, you see. It is not given as a gift, as a free prize, you see. It's just said, you see. You have to demand. In other words, you have to have a qualifying tapasya to demand his boon. The boon of the highest kind. And it is for that occasion, Savitri is rising to her true self. What she is here for. She is not, so to say, tempted. In other words, her tapasya is really so firm that she is not going to budge from the purpose of her mortal birth. Look thyself into infinite Satyavan. O miracle, where thou beganst, there cease. Therefore, but. Therefore, but. So that but completely dismisses all that he was offering to her. One word is enough, you see. All that he was offering is totally dismissed straight away. Sorry, I am not going to accept what you are suggesting to me. Now, in fact, that is the beauty of the free will. See, the Supreme is there, Savitri is there, he is telling her something and she says no. Can you say something no to God? Will you say something no to mother? Will you say something no to the mother? See, mother says, okay, I want to give you this book. I say, no, sorry, I don't want this book. Will you say that, you see? For me, No, it depends upon the kind of qualifying tapasya you have done, the qualifying sadhana you have done to say no to her. No, I don't want this, I want this. I don't want book, I want the knowledge which comes through the book to me directly from you. See, it is that I want, see. So it really needs a demanding tapasya, very hard, severe tapasya, sadhana, intensity of sadhana is required. Therefore that but Savitri answered to the radiant God. See, he is radiant, she is opposing him. You see, he has all the light, he has all the knowledge with him. Still, she says, I'm sorry, I'm not going to accept. Not only she says, I'm not going to accept you, she says, in vain thou temptest. She had the courage to say, in vain thou temptest with solitary bliss. Two spirits saved out of a suffering world. She is firm in the mission of her soul. No temptation is going to dislodge her from that. My soul and his indissolubly linked in one task for which our lives were born, to raise the world to God in deathless light, to bring God down to the world on earth we came, to change the earthly life to life divine. She is making a tremendous statement, and she is telling in just a couple of lines the entire purpose of her mission, entire purpose to which she is fully awake. Two spirits saved out of a suffering world. Now, if the purpose is the life divine, according to this phrase, then why two spirits? Why can't she alone? Why Satyavan and Savitri? Why two spirits? Two spirits saved out of a suffering world. That is not going to help me. My soul and his indissolubly linked. My soul and his indissolubly linked. Then shall thou know lover and loved. We are already linked together. Nothing can really remove that together. We already know that we are together. What are you offering me then? Then shall thou know, but I already know it. I already know it, you see. Indissolubly linked. The lover and loved are always there together in the case of Savitri. Because he said, no, the lover and the loved, him and thee. Limits him and thee. We are always together. Indissolubly, we are always together. You think death has separated us? Not at all. What she is asserting. In the one task for which now they are linked together indissolubly. For what purpose? She is clarifying the purpose of their being together. My two spirits are required. It is in the context of that she is describing the purpose of her coming here. To raise the world to God in deathless light. That is one aspect of that purpose, of that function. To raise the world to God in deathless light. To bring God down to the world on earth. Both simultaneously. The ascending triangle and the descending triangle. They had to come together to raise the world to God in deathless light, to bring God down to the world on earth. When they join together, then the perfect square is formed, the perfect manifestation with the blooming lotus in it. with 7 waves on that footing. To raise the world to God in deathless light, to bring God down to the world on earth. Now, 2 spirits. She is explaining why 2 spirits. The purpose of these 2 spirits is given here. Now, of these 2 spirits, one of them is going to do this, and the other one is going to do this. Therefore, 2 spirits. Therefore, 2 spirits. To raise the world to God in deathless light. That is the part, that is the role of Savitri. To raise the world to God. You are telling me to come back, leaving the world. My purpose is lost then. To bring, to raise the world to God in deathless light. That is what Savitri is going to do. To bring God down to the world. That is the purpose of Satyavan. She wants Satyavan for that purpose, to bring God down. The manifestation is possible only when he is here. So actually, the union, the marriage, the holy marriage of the lover and beloved is for this purpose. To raise the world, to bring God down. It is for that purpose the marriage is supposed to be there. The fulfillment of marriage is there in that. And what is that marriage going to achieve finally? Life divine. To change the earthly life to life divine. That is the whole idea behind it. To change the earthly life to life divine. That is the whole idea behind it. 4 or 5 times, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 times in Savitri. The phrase life divine.
Because life divine is not enough for
The phrase. The first occurrence is 108.21. This is a part of Narad's speech. What Narad is telling in the book of Fate. This earth is full of the anguish of the gods. Gods are concerned about this world. See, pain is the hammer of God to shape this world. Hammer of God to shape this world. Take out an anguish. For what purpose? To shape the life divine in mortal forms. All this travel, all this suffering, all this hammering, etc., is there to shape the life on earth into life divine. Mortal forms into life divine. That is what Narad is already asserting. So, when Narad is bringing to the palace the word of fate that Satyavan must die. He says he must die. He doesn't say he will die. He must die. Because it is only in that death the shaping of the life divine in mortal forms possible. So Narad already has the knowledge of it. This has to happen. You see, although he is an overmental being, Narad, but he has a supramental knowledge in him. The next appearance is, it shall descend and make earth's life divine. Because truth made the world, not a blind nature force. If truth has made the world, then all that greater supreme light, truth, consciousness, etc., shall descend and make the earth's life divine. For here are not our large diviner heights, our summits in the superconscious blaze are glorious with the very face of God. There is our aspect of eternity. There is the figure of the God we are. His young, unaging look on deathless things, His joy in our escape from death and time, His immortality and light and bliss. Our larger beings is behind our cryptic wall. See, this is this first entry of Savitri into the dream consciousness and seeing the entire cosmic past. When Savitri begins her yoga, book 7, canto 2, when she is beginning the yoga, she's told, do this, do this, do this, do this. She enters into the dream consciousness, Swapna, Savitri Swapna Yoga. And in that dream consciousness, the entire history of evolution, she sees not only what has happened in the past, what is happening now, but what is going to happen in future, that also she foresees. And what does she foresee? That truth has made the world, and therefore this earth's life shall become life divine because of this truth. Because of this truth. There is no illusion here, there is no Maya here. You see, this is not something which is imaginary. It is a fact because it is based on truth. So that is this, the third possibility. If our souls could see and love and clasp God's truth, its infinite radiance would seize our hearts. Our being in God's image be remade, and earthly life become the life divine. This is what Savitri is telling to Yama, to death, in her dialogue with death. She is asserting it. You see, our souls, if they could see and love and clasp God's truth, then there is nothing which will prevent this earthly life becoming the life divine. The condition is this for it to become life divine. Our being God's image be remade, and earthly life become the life divine. So she is telling it to Yama himself, to death himself. You are standing in the way, you please go away. Then of course, to change the earthly light to light divine, to raise the world to God in deathless light, to bring God down to world on earth, we came to change the earthly life to life divine. She is telling it now to transform Yama again, see, to death, to Supreme Himself. Look, this is the purpose of my coming here. When she is saying that thing, not that the Supreme does not know it, but she has to say it. She has to affirm it. The word spoken here has the power to make it realizable. Without that, it will not happen just by itself. To change the earthly life to life divine. And the last occurrence is here, of course. This is what we were discussing earlier. See, this earthly life becomes the life divine. Now this is this boon given to Savitri by the Supreme Himself. What she was proposing, He is granting. It shall happen. It shall happen. This earthly life becomes the life divine. So this is a very powerful statement Savitri is making straight away. And in the context of this one, she says, in vain thou temptest me with all that. My purpose is this. I keep my will to save the world and man. Even the charm of the alluring voice, O blissful Godhead, cannot seize and snare. Yes, your voice is very sweet, honey loaded and all that, etc., but it is not going to snare me at all. Cannot seize and snare. She had addressed the same word, snare, earlier also to death. You are snaring. Therefore, she even called him, you are the tempter. You're the tempter, you see. Oh, blissful Godhead. See, this is very important. In how many ways she is addressing? She is addressing him as radiant God. She is addressing his blissful God. In fact, I made a list of how many times she has addressed in many ways. See? Let's see whether you can see that. Godhead of the vision, wonderful. Thunderer, besetter, she is addressing him like that. Oh, thunderer, oh, besetter. He is the search of the jealous gods. The jealous gods are searching him. Beauty of the unveiled ray. He is the beauty of the unveiled ray which has been covered, covered with unveiled ray. Inviolable ecstasy, wideness of a boundless sky, passion of a sorrowless earth, burning of a worldwide sun. He is the burning of a worldwide sun. She is addressing him in so many ways like that. Here she says, radiant God, all grace and glory and all divinity were here collected in a single form. He is supreme with all grace and glory and all divinity standing in front of her. She knew him for the same who snares our lives. You see this word snare. She knew him who snares our lives. 149.1. And knew him for the same who snares our lives. So she is using the same word here. Oh, blissful Godhead cannot seize and snare. You see. And she makes the tremendous assertion. I don't know in how many ways we can be really grateful to Savitri. In how many ways we can thank to her. I sacrifice not earth for happier worlds. Everything is condensed in this single sentence. I sacrifice not earth to happier world. Yes, there are happier worlds. Now she says, sacrifice. She doesn't say abandon. I abandon not earth for happier worlds. She doesn't say that. I abandon not earth for happier worlds. I sacrifice not earth to happier worlds. In other words, she sees something very, very, very rich in the earth. Something very demanding, something very precious in it. And therefore, I don't want to sacrifice her for that purpose. There is something so precious in it, I don't want to sacrifice for your happier worlds. It means possibly for her, this fulfillment of the earth will be more happy than the worlds where she would be going. I don't want to sacrifice for that purpose. Today, it may look to you like this, but it will be perhaps better than what is up there. Obviously, it has to be better than up there. Because there is a constant possibility of growth and expansion and become wider and brighter and all that here. There it is frozen, typal, fixed, you see. The evolutionary soul is there which will keep on growing, growing, growing. It is that aspect which Savitri does not want to sacrifice. I sacrifice not earth to happier worlds, because there dwell the eternal's vast idea and its dynamic will in men and things. So only could the enormous sin begin. Why the whole thing is happening here? Because there is the vast idea. Because there is a dynamic will of the Supreme Himself. Therefore, the whole thing has started. The process of evolution started because of that. Now, what is the vast idea of the Supreme, of the Eternal? The vast idea of the Eternal is this earthly life to become life divine. That is the vast idea. To change the earthly life to life divine. That is the vast idea behind the whole process, why He began the whole thing, you see. There is His will, His sankalpa is there behind it. And His dynamic will in men and things. So only could the enormous sin begin. Now, what is this enormous sin? Whence came this profitless wilderness of stars, this mighty barren wheeling of the sun? The suns are moving around, and all that, as if nothing is happening around. What for? For what purpose? For what purpose all this thing? Is it futile? Is it without any meaning, without any content? Mighty barren wheeling of the stars. They are not yielded anything yet. That does not mean that they will not. Because there is a vast idea behind all that. Whence came this profitless wilderness of stars, galaxies after galaxies, endless in every direction. What for? Who made the soul of futile life in time? Planted a purpose and a hope in the heart, set nature to a huge and meaningless task, or planned a million aeon efforts waste. Who has done that thing? Because behind all that there is the eternal vast idea. Therefore all these things happening. There is a dynamic will behind it of the eternal. What foes condemned to birth and death and tears, this conscious creature crawling on the globe. If earth can look up to the light of heaven and hear an answer to her lonely cry, not vain their meeting, nor heaven's touch is snare. She is again saying, then in that case the heaven's touch is not a snare again. If earth can look up to the light of heaven and hear an answer, you see again, looking up and hearing an answer. You see, to raise God, to raise earth to God, to bring God down. Both gone simultaneously. Not vain. If this is to happen, then all this labor of the stars, etc., is not vain. Is not vain at all. Heaven's touch is not then a snare at all, you see. I hear an answer to her lonely cry. You see, earlier, 152.10, there are high glimpses, not lasting sight. Okay. A few can climb to an unperishing sun. Our lives on the edges of the mystic moon and channel to earth mind the wizardry. Only a few can climb up there. So the whole thing is not only for the sake of those few. Then she says, the heroes and the demigods are few, to whom the close immortal voices speak, and to their acts the heavenly clan are near. Few are the silences in which truth is heard. She is repeating again, few. Few are the silences in which truth is heard, unveiling the timeless utterance of her deed. Few are the splendid moments of the tears. Few. See, eternity is there, time is going on, but there are hours of God when things suddenly happen differently altogether. Few. In that those hours of God, a total change takes place. Complete turn, a new turn is taken here. Now she says here, few can climb to an unperishing sun, etc., etc. If thou and I are true, the word is true. There is a purpose for that. Although only few can climb up at the moment, it does not mean that others will not be able to climb up. Of course, there is a sentence, there is a similarity of the statement with what we have in the Gita also. In the Gita, he tells, the teacher of the Gita tells, among 1,000 devotees, there are only few who can really approach me in the trueness. Maybe there are people who will clap and wave agarbattis or offer flowers and all that thing. Among those thousands and thousands of those devotees, there are really very few who really come to me. And again, out of those few, there are hardly one or two who would really come nearer to me. Who would really come nearer to me, you see. So you have to really go into the inner circle, whether you want to be in those 10,000 or whether you want to be in those 1,000 or you want to be in those 100 or you want to be in those few here who are very close to her. That closeness will come only when this is totally open to her. Then only things can happen. Otherwise, okay, goes on, you see. You can keep on clapping the name of the God, Lord, whatever you want to call him, you see. If earth can look up to the light of heaven, what is important is this. You have to look up and hear an answer to her lowly cry, not vain their meeting, nor heaven's touch is near. If thou and I are true, the world is true. Now in one single sentence, she has dismissed the entire theory of Mayavad, Maya, illusion. This world is an illusion, is a dream, is an hallucination. Shankara's theory is totally dismissed by Savitri in half a sentence. If you are true, if God is true, then why can't this world be true? If thou and I are true, the world is true. Although thou hide thyself behind thy works, to be is not a senseless paradox. Since God has made earth, earth must make in her God. See, it says God has made earth, earth must make in her God. It is God's responsibility. And you want me to come back, leaving the earth as it is. You have made this world. The world is true. You are true. Everything is true. See, if this world were a false world, truth cannot come out of it. If this world is an illusion, reality cannot emerge out of it. But because this is God's word, and if God is true, then how can this world be false? Since God has made earth, earth must make in her God. In her, of course, in earth. See, the force with which she is saying that thing is completely caught in the monosyllabic construction of the line. Since God has made earth, earth must make in her God. Monosyllabic line. She is asserting it. It gives the full emphasis. The power of poetry conveys the power of the truth which is there behind its utterance. Since God, that is, we can say, well, it's practically a spondy, has made I am. Earth, spondy. Must make also is spondy. In a God and anapist. So you see, all the syllables are powerful syllables. Since God has made earth, earth must make in her God. So the thrust, the emphasis with which the spondys, the use of spondys, use the thrust with which the sentence is uttered, telling that it has to be so. You see, not only monosyllabic, but also the use of so many spondys here in one single line. Since God has made earth, earth must make in her God. What hides within her breast, she must reveal. I claim thee for the world that thou hast made. Yeah, you have made this world for purpose with the vast idea of life divine. I claim it for that purpose. I claim thee for the world that thou hast made. I want you for that purpose here. If man lives bound by his humanity, if he is tied forever to his pain, let a greater being then arise from man. If man is incapable, if man is impotent, forget him. Discard him. Discard him. In that case, let a greater being then rise from man. If man cannot be transformed into a greater being, forget about man. The superhuman with eternal mate and immortal shine through earthly form. Forget about him and let a greater being arise. How? She is not describing that. But it is a necessity. If this world is true, if you have made this world, and if it is your world which has to be true, then let a greater being come. If man is incapable of rising to that kind of a demand, forget man. If an ape cannot become man, forget about ape, let man come. Let a greater being then arise from man, the superhuman with eternal mate, and immortal shine through earthly form. This is important. This has to happen. Whatever be the process, by what mechanism it is going to happen, this must occur. If man cannot come, let Superman come and establish life divine here. If this is not going to happen, then this creation is vain. Else was the creation vain, and this great world nothing that in time's moment seems to be. If this cannot happen, then this whole creation is a failure. But she says, but I have seen to the insentient mask, to this whole veil of inconscience, I have seen, what I have seen? I have felt the secret spirit stir in things, carrying the body of the growing God through the whole process, through the inconscience itself, screen of inconscience, I have seen that every object here is carrying the body of the growing God. He has to be here, carrying the body of the growing God. It looks through veiling form at veilless truth. It pushes back the curtain of the God. It climbs towards its own eternity. So, there is a good hope in the utterance of Savitri for man. For man. If man cannot rise, forget about man, let Superman come and do things. But then she says, look, but I have seen even behind man something. Let him come forward, she says. But I have seen through the insentient man, I have felt the sacred spirit stir in things, carrying the body of the growing God. It looks through wearing forms that veilless truth. It pushes back the curtain of the God. It climbs towards its own eternity, its own eternity. It has come from there, it's going back to see. So this is what Savitri is answering to the radiant God. But the radiant God is still kind of testing her, you see. But the God answered to the woman's heart. O living power, the incarnate word. What a compliment he is paying to Savitri by calling her the living power of the incarnate word. Incarnate word. She has taken a mortal birth. Word. The power of expression of the divine himself, Brahma. O living power, incarnate word. So, he is addressing her power, not knowledge. You have knowledge? No. You have power to execute things. Therefore, the word and power, word stands for the power of expression of Brahma himself. Word on Brahma's lap. This is what we have seen. Book 7, Canto 5. Word on Brahma's lap. Saraswati in the Indian mythology. Goddess Saraswati. She is the spouse of Brahma, the consort of Brahma. Word. She is the power of expression. Oh, living power. So she is not sitting there quietly. Up there, she is Gayatri. Down below, here, she is Savitri. She is Savitri here. So, in the transcendent, in Brahma's world, permanently she is there as a spouse in the form of Gayatri. She comes here, the mortal creation, as Savitri to carry out Brahma's will in the creation. Therefore incarnate, therefore word, power, all that thing. O living power, the incarnate word, all that is spirit dream thou canst create. You can create all those things, what you have been saying, because it is a dream of the spirit. The spirit dreams it. Unfortunately, spirit cannot create. The creation is an aspect, is a job of word, execution. She is the executrix. O living power, incarnate word, all that the spirit has dreamed, thou canst create. Thou art the force by which I made the worlds. Thou art my vision and my will and voice. That is what Savitri is. His vision and his will and his voice.
The Shakti of the divine, no?
Divine.
The Shakti of the divine.
Yeah, well, power, Shakti. Yeah, of course. Yeah. But Shakti as an executrix. Who is executing things, an action. You see. Thou art the force by which I made the world. Thou art my vision and my will and my voice. What you are speaking, it is that I am speaking through you. What you are willing, it is I who is willing through you. What you are seeing, it is I, it is you, it is I you are seeing through me. Thou art my vision and my will. Again, see, practically monosyllabic. Thou art my vision, my will and voice. Vision and will and voice. But, and the alliteration of vision and voice be thou art my vision and my will and voice. Again, the art of poetry is there. You see, he doesn't say, thou art my vision and my will and my voice. He said, my vision, my will and voice. If you put my here, it will cut off from the will. Yes, you are a living power, but that power is not devoid. Thou art thou art the force by which I made the world. Thou art my vision and my will and voice. But knowledge too is thine. It's not only power, you had this knowledge also. The word, plan, thou knowest. Why this creation was made? What for all these things? The stars are moving, suns are there. For what? You seem to know the world plan also. And the tardy process of the pace of time. You are aware of that thing also. The tardy process of the pace of time. The evolution is a slow march. And repeatedly, Shiva uses the phrase in Life Divine, slow evolution. The phrase is slow evolution. He uses repeatedly the phrase slow evolution. Therefore, the tardy process or the pace of time, the slow evolution. Now, the justification for the slow evolution is that every detail is attended. Nothing is left at all, you see. Every detail has to be attended. You don't want to rush and leave things aside and reach the goal. Every detail has to be attended. The tardy process of the pace of time. But then he says, the process of the time is tardy, all right, but your heart is impetuous. You want to cut short this tardy process of time and achieve all that life divine, etc., all those things today, this moment. You are a hasty girl. You don't understand things. In the impetuous drive of thy heart of flame, in thy passion to deliver man and earth, indignant to the impediments of time, and slow evolutions, sluggard steps. See, he uses now here again deliberately the process. The slow evolution, sluggard steps. Lead not the spirit in an ignorant world to dare too soon the adventure of the light, pushing the bound and slumbering God in man, awakened with the ineffable silences into endless vistas of the unknown and unseen, across the last confines of the limiting mind, and superconscious perilous borderline into the danger of the infinite. There is a danger if you want to hasten the process. The danger of the infinite himself. The danger of the infinite himself is there. Don't be hasty. You understand the pragmatics of things. Why the slow evolution is there, why the process of time is tardy, you understand that. Don't lead things too hastily. They can be disastrous. Obviously,
What he means by
they can be disastrous.
no, what he means by why he is telling her don't go so hurry. What he means by this?
What he is driving at is go slowly, let the time work out things. You want drive divine, okay, it will happen. Let time work it out. Why you are in haste?
He wants her hurry.
She wants life divine. Today, now, this moment. I am sitting here on my dining table. Please give me life divine this instance. You see?
I mean, why not hurry?
And he says, no, it will be dangerous. It has the danger of the infinite.
Every detail must be elaborated. You told before, every detail must be elaborated.
Yeah, well, there is a purpose of this, as I said you, slow evolution. For what purpose? That every detail is attended. Every detail is attended. See, it is something like this. The Supreme is there, he can do whatever he wants. Just like that. But he won't do it. Why? See, first comes inconscience, then comes matter, then comes life, then comes mind, etc., etc., etc. Why can't suddenly supermind descend into matter? Why it has to go through life and mind and all that? Supermind is all powerful, it can achieve whatever it wants. Why can't it straight away enter into matter and change matter?
Yes, I understand. But she didn't show that she is in hurry. I mean, why he is telling her now, don't be hurried?
Because
she was in hurry.
No, she is explaining to her the pragmatics of things. She wants life divine to be changed, the earthly life to be changed to life divine and all that thing. Yes, it will happen in the course of time. Don't make haste, he says.
Because she was making her.
Yes, of course. She wants that thing. Yeah. Yeah. She wants that. Therefore, he is cautioning her, look, impatient girl, take things slowly, gradually, all that will happen. All that will happen, you see. See, as I was telling you, you have got all the stages. Why the stages are built? Matter and life and then mind and then higher and higher and higher like that. Because if supermind were to directly descend into matter, matter will simply get crushed by it. It will not be able to bear the possibilities. So, do you want to crush matter by bringing down supermind directly? Do you want to crush things here at the moment as they are by bringing down that thing when that thing is not ready? Therefore, it is danger of the infinite. That is the danger of the infinite. Mind has to come only after life established in matter. Prana Sharira Neta. That is what to Prana life, vital life, is the leader of the body. Then Manomaya Purusha, he is the leader of life in matter. Mental being is the leader of life in matter. You have to establish those stages first. In other words, you are preparing more and more gradually to bring down the supermind. I mean, it's like saying, look, I am ready Superman, please come down and sit with me. I will be simply crushed. Now that he cannot do it, but I will not be able to bear it. I will be crushed. I will become mad. And the superconscious, perilous borderline, into the danger infinite. But if thou wilt not wait for time and God, do then thy work and force thy will on fate. What you can do is, you are not able to do it. Stay back to earth and carry on your toilsome work. Prepare earth nature for that thing to happen. If thou wilt not wait for time and God, do then thy work and force thy will on fate. Now, this is exactly, in fact, we shall see when we come to that, this is exactly the same kind of advice the Supreme is giving to Savitri, which was given by the Divine Mother, the Supreme Mother herself, to Ashwapati. In book 3, the book of the Divine Mother, Division and the Bone, when Ashwapati approaches the Divine Mother, she says, I know why you have come to me. I know what you want. She says, but please don't force the issue. Let time work out things by itself. Don't force the issue. He advises her. She advises him. But then this man has the courage to say, sorry, madam, I am not going to accept your advice. I want to force the issue. His tapasya has grown so much strong that he can make a counter proposal to her. You are saying do this? No, I want to do it like this. He can set up big counter proposal to her. And then he says, because she says that if you hurry up things, then you are simply crushing the universe, crushing the world, crushing the creation by hastening the pace of things. Things are not ready here. And therefore don't make haste. But then Ashwapati says to her, why you are pressing your hand on a single bar of time? She says all the while, time will take care of it. Let things happen in the course of time. And he says, why you are pressing your hand only on one single bar of time? It cannot be so. I want things to be differently done. And how? That is possible only if you come down here and take mortal birth. I want to hasten the pace of time, but that hastening of the pace of time is possible only if you yourself incarnate here. And then she obliges, okay, I will come as Savitri. Then she obliges him, okay. So, see, that is the free will. It is not a clash of one free will against another free will. It is one truth will under supporting the other truth will. So here also exactly the same situation. He is telling us, Savitri, please don't hurry up. Things will happen in the course of time. Why you are in haste? Because otherwise there is the danger of the infinite all along. But if you are not able, if you are not willing to wait, then okay, carry on your own work here in the meanwhile. This was the advice, exactly the same kind of advice was given by the Divine Mother to Ashwapati also. Do your work here, have time. And then he says, as I had taken from thee my load of night, and taken from thee my twilight's doubts and dreams, so now I take my light of utter day. I had taken away the load of light which was there, I had taken away all that. Now I take away the load of light also from your utter day. Now, this is a little puzzling to our mind. I had taken from thee my load of night. I thought Savitri had dismissed night. But this man comes and claims I had taken away that load. Is it not so? Node of night, death, who's standing there, Savitri has conquered him, but this man comes now and claims that it is he who has really taken away the load of night, you see. Until now she was fighting, quarreling, battling, all the thing, exercising all her full force. But then all the credit finally goes to him, you see, as if she has not done anything. And taken from thee my twilight's doubts and dreams, so now I take my light. Well, this of course he is going to do it, but this was actually done by Savitri herself. These are my simple kingdoms, but not here can the great choice be made that fixes fate or uttered sanction of the voice supreme. Arise upon the ladder of greater world to the infinity where no world can be, but not in the wide air where greater life, uplifts mystery and miracle, and not on the luminous peaks of summit mind, or in the whole where subtle matter spirit hides in its light a shimmering secrecies, can there be heard the eternal swarm command that join the head of destiny to its base. So he is telling under what conditions all that can happen. These only are the mediating links, all that is happening here. Not theirs is the originating sight, nor the fulfilling act of last support that bears perpetually the cosmic pile. And then he says, of course, two are the powers that hold the ends of time. The process is by time. At one end of the time is something, at the other end of time is something else. What are the two? The famous spirit and matter. At one end of time is matter, at the other end of time is spirit. And what are these two ends? Spirit forces, matter unfolds. Now this is the whole beauty. In one single phrase he has described everything. Spirit forces. You see. Well, out of matter things will arise. Matter unfolds. It is through matter it will flourish, it will come up. Spirit forces, matter unfolds. Obviously, again, see the same thing. It is not by the spirit that matter will unfold. It is not by seeing, by spirit entering directly into matter that matter will unfold. Matter has to unfold by itself, through itself, per se. Unfolds is thought. The dumb executor of God's decrees, omitting no iota and no dot. You see, again, no iota and no dot. Nothing is left undone in the course of time, in the long time. Agent, unquestioning, inconscient, stark, evolving inevitably, a charged content, intention of its force and time and space in animate beings and inanimate things. Immutably, it fulfills its ordered task. So, ends of time, it fulfills its ordered task through the whole process. It cancels not a tittle of things done, what have been achieved. So, iota and dot, everything is there. You see, he says no here. No iota, no dot is left. Nothing is left. It takes care of it. Therefore, it cancels not a tittle of things done. unswerving from the oracular command. It alters not the steps of the unseen. Oracular command, the divine command. If thou must indeed deliver man and earth, this is what Savitri was saying, must deliver man and earth on the spiritual heights. Look down on life, discover the truth of God and man and world, then do thy task knowing and seeing all. So this is the advice is given to her. If thou must indeed deliver man and earth, he is telling that she must deliver man and earth. She must deliver man and earth. How? Etc. etc. By discovering the truth of God and man and world, and doing her task knowingly and seeingly. So he says here, if you had to do this thing, but this fellow will say tomorrow that look, first he's saying you have to do this thing, and then tomorrow will say, look, I have done it. I think I'm with the lots of you. You see, ascend, O soul, into thy timeless self. Choose destiny's curve and stamp thy will on time. He ended, and upon the falling sound, a power went forth that shook the founded spheres and blew the stakes that hold the tents of form. Stakes that hold the tents of form. The tent is there, the stakes are there, tightening the ropes are tightening the tents. Absorbed from vision's grip and force of thought, wrapped from a sense like disappearing scene in the stupendous theatre of space, the heaven worlds vanished in spiritual light. Absorbed from vision's grip and force of thought. So everything, now she sees something different altogether, totally. In the stupendous theatre of space, the heaven worlds vanished because thoughts and grip and vision, all that thing, they are not there now. Something else is seeing that you see. The heaven worlds vanished in spiritual light. A movement was abroad, a cry, a word. Begingless in its vast discovery, momentless in its unthinkable return, quiet in calm sea, she heard eternal thought, rhythming itself abroad, unutterably in spaceless orbits, on timeless roads, in spaceless orbits, on timeless roads. Orbits don't need space. In an ineffable world, she lived fulfilled because all the tents had gone away. The stakes, etc., they had disappeared completely. Whatever was holding her back to earth and vision, all that. In spaceless orbit, in an ineffable world, she lived fulfilled. And energy of the triune infinite, in a measureless reality she dwelled. And energy of the triune infinite, in a measureless reality she dwelt. She, the energy of the triune infinite, Satchidananda. Triune infinite, Satchidananda. She is the power of Satchidananda. And energy of the triune infinite, she dwelt in a measureless reality. There is no end to that reality. Ineffable world she lived, that ineffable world is that measureless reality. She is living in that measureless reality as a power, as the energy of the triune infinite of Satchidananda. A rapture Now what is this triune in it? See, the poet is very particular not to leave anything undefined. What is the triune? A rapture and a being and a force. That is the triune. He is a rapture, a being and a force. That is the triune. Rapture, Ananda, being, Sat, force, consciousness, Satchidananda. So that's the language of poetry, you see. In a measureless reality, she dwells, a rapture and a being and a force. So this energy is this, a linked and myriad motion plenitude, a virgin unity, a luminous spouse. She has become the luminous spouse of the infinite now, housing a multitudinous embrace to marry in God's immense delight. So this is the heavenly marriage now, which is sanctified, you see, solemnized. Housing a multitudinous embrace to marry all in God's immense delight, bearing the eternity of every spirit, bearing the burden of universal love, a wonderful mother of unnumbered souls. So she has already married in God's delight, and she has suddenly become a mother also. All things she knew, all things imagined or willed. Her ear was open to ideal sound. Her ear was open to ideal sound. So it's a different ear now she has got. The ear behind the ear. It is that which has opened out. Her ear was open to ideal sound. Shape, the convention bound no more her side. 1,000 doors of oneness was her heart. A crypt and sanctuary of brooding light appeared, the last recess of things beyond. That is what she knew, all things she knew. Then, in its round, enormous fat paused. Silence gave back to the unknowable all it had given. Silence gave back to the unknowable all it had given. So everything has become now silent. So what was received by the unknowable, by the silence, all that he was speaking and she was speaking, all that thing is now gone back to the unknowable. Still was her listening thought. Calm and quiet. The form of things has ceased within her soul. Everything has gone back because unknowable. She has gone back to that thing. The form of things has ceased within her soul. Invisible, that perfect Godhead now. Around her, that tremendous spirit lived. So she has given back everything to the unknowable. Actually, she has come out of the unknowable. Wherefrom has the Divine Mother come when she gave boon to Ashwapati? She has come from the unknowable. This silence is between Satchidananda and the unknowable. Satchidananda is a manifestation and unknowable is there. Between these two, it is silence. It is in that silence that power had come, Savitri, the Divine Mother, and then given rise to the whole thing. The form of things that sees within her soul, invisible, that perfect Godhead now, that ineffable. Around her, some tremendous spirit lived, mysterious flame, around a melting pearl, and in the phantom of abolished space, there was a voice unheard by ears that cried. There was a voice unheard by ears that cried. So, what now she is listening is not from the triune infinite. It is something from beyond that. Something from beyond that. directly from the unknowable himself, from Parat Para, beyond the beyond, beyond the beyond. Yeah. Parat Para, Parat Para, P-A-R-A-T, P-R-A, Parat Para. So what she is now getting is directly from the Supreme himself, Absolute Supreme, the Absolute himself. Yeah. Choose the Spirit, that supreme choice not given again. For now, from my highest being, looks at thee, the nameless, formless peace, where all things rest. The nameless, formless peace, where all things rest. It is from there, from the unknowable himself, now that voice is coming. Choose the Spirit, Savitri, because she is no more there now. Thy supreme voice not given again, thy supreme choice not given again. You can earn it only once, and you have to be very careful what you are going to ask for. You are not going to be given another chance then. Whatever you will ask, that will be given. So the responsibility is on you, not on me. You see, if you ask for a small prize, you will be responsible for a small prize. If you ask for a big prize, again the responsibility is yours. You demand now, you desire whatever you want to see. Ashwapati was careful in that. He says, look, I am given a supreme choice, and my supreme choice is you must take the mortal birth. You must come down here and take the mortal birth. That was his supreme choice. And Savitri now is facing that moment. The moment of her truth has come. Savitri's moment of truth has come. What for she has taken the mortal birth, what she is going to do here, that moment has now arrived in her case. Choose, Spirit, thy supreme choice not given again. For now from my highest being looks at thee, the nameless, formless peace, where all things rest. The beauty of the formless, the truth of the formless, the knowledge of the formless, the joy of the formless, everything is there. In a happy, vast, sublime sensation known, an immense extension in eternity, a point that disappears in infinite, a point that disappears in the infinite, you are a small point. Felicity of the extinguished flame, you are a flame, extinguish yourself here and enjoy the felicity of it. Last sinking of a wave in a boundless sea, end the trouble of thy wandering thought, close of the journeying of thy pilgrim soul. Accept, O music, weariness of thy notes, O stream, wide breaking of thy channel banks. You are moving like a stream, break your channels and come. Accept that. So the moments fell into eternity. But someone yearned within a bosom unknown. Someone yearned within a bosom unknown. In Savitri's heart, someone willed. Someone wished something to happen. And silently, the woman's heart replied, Thy peace, O Lord, a boon within to keep, amid the roar and ruin of wild time, for the magnificent soul of man on earth. I want your peace. For what? For the soul of man and earth. Does it deserve it? I want your peace. I want your peace for man and earth. She is not forgetting that thing at all. I don't need peace. I want it for man and earth. See, he says now here, nameless, formless peace. And therefore the first offer was peace. Thy peace, O Lord, a boon within, to keep amid the roar and ruin of wild time, for the magnificent soul of man, throne and rule of wild time. Yes, we have been speaking of dangerous time, the danger of the infinite. Don't hasten time and all that, but in that I want your peace. When your peace is established, then it will be no more dangerous. For thy magnificent soul of man, thy calm, O Lord, that bears the hands of joy. It is only the hands, the calm that can bear joy. Limitless like ocean round a lonely isle. A second time the eternal cry arose. Wide open are the ineffable gates in front. My spirits lean down to break the knot of earth, amorous of oneness. Earlier was peace, now he's talking of oneness. Amorous of oneness without thought or sign, to cast down wall and fence, to strip heaven bare, see with the large eye of infinity, and view the stars, and into silence pass. Amorous of oneness, heaven, earth, this man, that man, everything is one. Oneness is there everywhere present here. My spirit leans down in the form of oneness. In an immense and world-destroying pause, she heard a million creatures cry to her. He's speaking of oneness. We want that oneness. The creatures, see, this is important. There has to be a desire from below also, a wish, a longing for that to happen. She heard a million creatures cry to her, Savitri, please pray for us. He's talking of oneness. Let us be one with him. That aspiration is there from below. She heard a million creatures cry to her through the tremendous stillness of her thought. Immeasurably, the woman's heart spoke, nature spoke. Thy oneness, Lord, in many approaching hearts, my sweet infinity of thy numberless soul. She's asking now not for peace, but oneness. Peace in the ruin of time, oneness because of this creation. Mightily chilling, retreating like a sea in ebb, a third time swelled the great admonishing call. I spread abroad the refuge of my wings. My arakshan is there. Sharanam, come and take refuge in me. Out of the incommunicable deeps, my power looks forth of mighty splendor, still into its majesty your sleeve withdrawn above the dreadful whirling to the world. A power looks from the mighty splendor. A sob of things was answer to the voice, and passionately the woman's heart replied, Thy energy, he says, of power. Now she says, Thy energy, Lord, to seize on man and woman, woman and man, to take all things and creatures in their grief and gather them into a mother's arm. I want that power, that energy for this purpose. Solemn and distant, like a seraph's lyre. A last great time, the warning sound was heard. I opened the wide eye of solitude. The unknowable is opening his wide eye of solitude to uncover the voiceless rapture of my bliss, where in a pure and exquisite hush it lies, motionless in a slumber of ecstasy, motionless in a slumber of ecstasy, where in a pure and exquisite hush it lies, motionless in a slumber of ecstasy, resting from the sweet madness of the dawn, out of whose beat the throb of hearts was born. So, rapture of my bliss. She's asking, he's offering her. See, now this is very peculiar. Rapture of bliss. Of course, it means that rapture can be of different kind. Rapture of happiness, rapture of knowledge, rapture of beauty, rapture of joy. All these things. Here, the rapture of bliss. You see, the highest possible ananda is rapture. To uncover the voiceless rapture of my blame, where in a pure and exquisite hush it lies, so it is resting there in the unknowable lies, that bliss, ananda, motionless in a slumber of ecstasy. In a slumber of ecstasy. What a line, it is a very powerful line. Motionless in a slumber of ecstasy. Motionless in a slumber of ecstasy. Motion. First syllable is, first foot is motion. Second is less in. Motion, that is trachea. Second is pyrrhic. Third is slumber, I am. Of X, that is anapest. The sea, pyrrhic. Motionless slumber of ecstasy, racing from the sweet madness of the tongue, out of whose beat the throb of heart was born. So it is out of that ananda. Breaking the silence with appeal and cry, a hymn of adoration tireless climb, a hymn of adoration tireless climb. A music beat of wing, uniting souls. Then all the woman yearning replied, thy embrace, which rang the living knot of pain, thy joy, you see, most that bliss, joy, O Lord, in which all creatures breathe, thy magic flowing waters of deep love, thy sweetness give to me for earth and men. So this is insistent. She is very particular about this earth and men all along. So although she says if man is incapable of rising to the possibility of divine manifestation, forget about him, dismiss him and let a Superman come. So she says that there is a possibility in man also. So whatever I want it now for earth and man also. So there is a good hope for man because of her. Thy joy, O Lord, in which, so she is asking for peace, she is asking for oneness, she is asking for what? Power. She is asking now for joy. So basically, she is asking for, of course, peace. That is the foundation of things. See how gradually everything is built up. Foundation of things is peace. Then she is asking for oneness. Then she is asking for power, energy, thy energy, Lord. And lastly, she is asking for joy, bliss. That is the last thing which comes here. In fact, that is how the offers are also made, and she is asking in return those things. You see. So you have to build up. Unless you establish peace in yourself first, the divine qualities cannot enter into you. If the physical transformation has to take place, what is required first is that peace should be established in the cells of the body. The body's cells must open out to the divine peace. In fact, it's a twofold process. The power of the divine must establish itself in the form of peace in the body. That is required. For that thing to happen, there has to be an opening in the body's cells to receive the power of the divine. It is both ways. The cell's body should receive, should open out also. But for all that thing to happen, what is required is the foundation of peace. That is the first condition. So let us pray for peace.